Jade was wiping down the kitchen counter when her phone buzzed. A text. She didn't get many these days, and when she did, they were usually appointment reminders or spam. But this one made her pause. Uncle Lewis. She stared at the name. 5 years. Not a single word from him. Not even when she moved out. Not when she changed her number. Though clearly, he'd found this one. There was no message. Just a video attachment. She almost didn't open it. Her thumb hovered for a moment before tapping the screen. The video loaded slowly. Then it started to play. It was a dim living room. Her old house. Her mother sat on the couch, drink in hand. Her father next to her, quiet, but smiling. Ethan was pacing in front of them, grinning wide like he was performing for an audience. I swear, the way she talks. Ethan laughed, pitching his voice high and shaky. Hi, I'm Jade, and I'm here to apply for the position. He bent forward, pretending to hold a resume. Please give me a chance. I swear I won't mess it up this time. Her mother laughed loud, clapping once. She always sounded like she was about to cry. She was never meant for more than folding napkins, her mother added, sipping her drink. Poor thing really thought she had a chance at something. Her father chuckled softly. We only kept her around because it would have looked bad if we didn't. The laughter continued for a few more seconds. Then the video ended. Jade didn't move, didn't speak. The sound of the refrigerator humming was the only thing in the room. Her phone screen had gone dark. She stared at the reflection of her face in the black glass. Blank. No tears came. Just a sharp stillness in her chest, like something had frozen over. She pressed delete, then stopped. Pressed recently deleted. Clicked. Recover. She watched it again. Every second. Every laugh. Every word. Then she sat down on the floor, leaning against the fridge, phone resting in her lap, hands in her lap, still quiet. There had always been a feeling, a heaviness she couldn't name, like she had been living in a house where the walls smiled, but the air whispered different things. Now she knew, and somehow, knowing hurt less than pretending not to. Jade was the kind of child who always tried to do the right thing. She cleaned the kitchen without being asked, helped her mom carry groceries, and kept quiet when Ethan, her older brother, got into trouble. Even when it was his mess, Jade somehow ended up cleaning it, or getting blamed. One time, when they were both still kids, Ethan broke a lamp while roughhousing inside the house. Their mum walked in, saw the broken glass, and snapped at Jade before even asking what happened. Why didn't you stop him? She had said. Jade had wanted to say, he's older than me, but she didn't. She just picked up the broom. Their parents always said Jade was too emotional. If she cried, they told her to toughen up. If she got quiet, they said she was being dramatic. But Ethan, he was the funny one, the smart one, always full of potential. He cracked jokes at the dinner table that made their parents laugh, even if most of them were at Jade's expense. She learned to laugh too, at herself, just to keep things peaceful. There was one moment Jade never forgot. She was 15 and had spent weeks working on a story for a writing competition. She poured everything into it. The deadline was tight, and when it came time to submit it online, she let Ethan help because she wasn't sure how the website worked. He said he'd do it while she finished her chores, but he submitted it late. Her story didn't count. When she told their parents what happened, they didn't seem to care. Her mother shrugged and said, "You can't blame other people when things don't go your way." Her father added, "Next time, do it yourself." Jade had just nodded, holding back tears. That was the first time she wondered if they ever really saw her at all. Now, Jade is 24, living in a small studio apartment that smells like old carpet and coffee. She works as a waitress at a diner not far from where she grew up. It's not her dream, but it pays the rent. The job is tiring. She smiles at customers even when they're rude. She comes home with sore feet and keeps a jar of coins for laundry. She still calls her mum every Sunday, out of habit. The conversations are short. Her mum asks if she's found a real job yet, or says things like, "You always were sensitive." Jade never says much, just, "Yeah, I'm fine," even when she isn't. Jade tried therapy once. She went for 3 sessions. The therapist was kind and soft-spoken, and for the first time, Jade felt like someone actually listened. But then she made the mistake of telling her mum. "Therapy!" Her mum scoffed. "That's just a way to blame people for your own failures." Jade didn't go back. She'd been dating a guy named Marcus for almost a year. He was patient, kind, and always asked how her day was. But last month, he ended things. He told her she was hard to reach, that she kept her feelings locked away. "It's like you're always bracing for something," he said. "Like you're waiting to be hurt, Even when no one's trying to hurt you. Jade didn't argue. Maybe he was right. Every part of her life had been shaped by this quiet weight, like she was always wrong, always broken in some small way. Her thoughts were full of second guesses. If someone was kind, she wondered what they wanted. If someone was cruel, she wondered what she had done wrong. All her life, Jade had been told, in small and large ways, that she was the problem. And after a while, she started to believe it. Even now, with that awful video still saved on her phone, she kept thinking, maybe they were just joking. Maybe I'm overreacting. But deep down, something else was starting to rise. Something that had been quiet for years. Not anger, at least not yet. Just a question. What if it's not me? What if it was never me? Jade didn't text him right away. She kept checking her phone, reading his name, Uncle Lewis, over and over again in her messages. The video sat there, still saved, like a weight in her pocket. A quiet bomb. 3 days passed. She went to work, took orders, smiled when she had to, came home, slept restlessly. The video played in her mind on repeat. The laughs, her brother's voice, her mother's smirk. On the 4th night, sitting on her bed in the dark, she finally typed out a message. Why would you send me that? She stared at it, then hit send. A few minutes later, his reply came. Because you deserved to know. I should have said something years ago. Her hands started shaking, not from fear, but from something deeper, like something inside her was breaking open, slow and quiet. She replied again. You were there? His response was quick. Yes, I was visiting that night. I left early. I couldn't stand it, but it wasn't the first time. Jade blinked at the screen. Her chest felt tight. What do you mean? I've seen it before. The way they treated you, the way they talked about you when you weren't around. You were always the most decent one in that house. They made you small so they could feel bigger. She read that last sentence twice. Then a third time, they made you small. No one had ever said anything like that to her. Not once. Not in 24 years. That night, she didn't cry. She just laid down, eyes open, feeling something shift inside her. Not a scream, not a fight, just a quiet decision. The next morning, she blocked her mother's number, then her father's, then Ethan's. She didn't send a goodbye message. No long explanation, just silence. At work, she pulled her manager aside. I need some time off. Personal stuff, she said. He looked at her, surprised. Jade never asked for anything. You okay? She nodded. I will be. Later that day, she packed a small bag, just a few clothes, her journal, and her phone charger. She left her apartment clean, unplugged everything, locked the door behind her. She got in her car and drove. No music, just the sound of the road and the wind through the windows. The coastal town wasn't far, maybe 3 hours. She remembered it from a visit when she was little. Uncle Lewis lived near the water, in a quiet house with pale blue shutters. She didn't know what to expect when she got there, but she didn't turn back. When she arrived, the sun was beginning to set. She parked in the driveway and sat in the car for a minute. Uncle Lewis opened the front door before she knocked. He didn't smile right away, just looked at her with kind, tired eyes. Come in, he said softly. And for the first time in a long time, Jade walked into a home that didn't make her feel small. Jade stayed at Uncle Lewis's house longer than she thought she would. At first, it was just for a few days to clear her head, but the days turned into weeks. The quiet helped. His house was small but warm, full of books and sunlight. It smelled like coffee and ocean air. The wind moved gently through the trees outside, and at night she could hear the waves in the distance. Louis didn't ask too many questions. He made her breakfast sometimes, mostly eggs and toast. Sometimes they didn't talk at all, but other nights, they sat at the kitchen table with mugs of tea and spoke softly while the world outside went still. One night, he told her the truth about her mother. She wasn't always like that, he said. When we were kids, Melissa used to laugh at everything. She was loud and bold, but after our parents died, something in her changed. He looked tired, like remembering hurt. She got bitter, like the world owed her something and never paid up. She started picking fights, cutting people off. I told her once that she was becoming cruel. That was the last time we spoke, until years later. Jade listened quietly. She didn't interrupt. She was beginning to understand that cruelty doesn't always come from nowhere, but that didn't make it okay. During the days, Jade started writing again. She found an old notebook in a drawer and began filling the pages. At first, it was messy. just quick thoughts, half memories, single words. But over time, it became something more. She wrote about things she hadn't thought about in years, like the time she got sick in second grade, and her mother said, "Don't be so dramatic," when she asked to stay home. She realized how often she had rewritten her memories just to make things seem normal. She used to think her childhood wasn't that bad, but now, in the quiet of Lewis's house, she saw it clearly. The way her feelings were always too much. The way her voice was always too soft to be heard. One day, Louis left a flyer on the table. It was for a writing fellowship in the city, one she had dreamed about as a teenager. The same one she never got to apply to because of Ethan's mistake. "You should try," Louis said, without pressure. She stared at it for a long time. Then, finally, she said, "Okay." She spent the next week writing her application. She poured her whole heart into it. Every sentence came from a place that had once been locked away. When she hit submit, she felt nervous, but also proud. Not because it was perfect, but because she had done it. A few days later, she opened her Instagram and saw a message request. It was from Ethan. She didn't want to read it at first, but something made her click. "Hey, I don't know if you'll even read this, but I just want to say I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. That video, we were just joking. It was dumb. I wasn't thinking, please don't block me." Jade stared at the words. There was a time when a message like that would have meant everything. Now, it just felt hollow. She didn't reply. Then came the voicemails. Her mother's voice, sharp as ever. "Jade, this has gone too far. We're worried about you. Please call us back." Another one from her dad. "You always take things the wrong way. Let's talk, okay? Don't do this to the family." She listened to each one, even though she told herself she wouldn't. They didn't sound sorry. They sounded afraid. Afraid of losing control. Afraid of being seen. Louis saw her listening one afternoon and sat down beside her. "They're not sorry, Jade. They're scared," he said softly. "Scared that you're finally waking up." Jade nodded. She didn't cry, just felt tired. Then one morning, a package arrived. No return address, but she recognized the handwriting on the box right away. Her mother's. Inside were old family photos, pictures of birthdays, vacations, holidays. In some, Jade was smiling, but now she wondered if that smile had ever been real. In most, she was standing off to the side. Ethan was always in the middle, their parents beside him. On top of the stack was a note. "You'll always be one of us, no matter how hard you try not to be." Jade sat with the box in her lap for a long time. That message wasn't love. It wasn't apology. It was a reminder, a warning, a rope trying to pull her back. But she wasn't that scared little girl anymore. She was writing again. She was choosing herself, maybe for the first time ever. And this time, she wasn't going back. Jade didn't tell Uncle Lewis she was going. She just woke up early, packed a small bag, and got in the car. The drive back to her parents' house was quiet. She didn't play any music. She needed the silence to think. As she got closer, her stomach tightened. But it wasn't fear. Not like before. It was something else. Maybe sadness, maybe strength, maybe both. She parked outside the house she grew up in. It looked the same. Neat lawn, same old porch, same wind chimes by the door. For a second, she almost turned back, but she didn't. She knocked once and let herself in. The door was unlocked, like always. Her mother looked up from the kitchen table, surprised. "Jade," her father stood in the doorway. Ethan came down the stairs slowly. "We didn't know you were coming," her mum said. "I didn't plan to," Jade replied. They made dinner like nothing had happened. Roasted chicken, rice, salad, the same meal they always made when company came. Nobody said much. They asked small questions. "How's work? Still at that apartment?" Like trying to build a bridge out of nothing. Jade answered with short words. She didn't come for small talk. After dinner, she sat back in her chair. Then she reached into her bag, took out her phone, and placed it on the table. "I want you to watch something," she said. She hit play. The video began. Her brother's voice mocking her, her mother laughing, her father adding his own quiet, cutting words. All of them talking about her like she wasn't real, like she wasn't in the room. The room now was silent. When the video ended, no one spoke at first. Then her mum said, "We were drunk. It was just a dumb moment." Jade looked straight at her. "Number." "It was the truth. That's how you've always seen me." Her father shifted in his chair. Ethan opened his mouth. "I didn't mean it, Jade. It was..." "You did mean it," she said. "All of you did. You just didn't think I'd ever hear it." Ethan looked down. Her mum crossed her arms. Jade kept going, calm and clear. You needed me to be broken. You needed someone to look down on, someone to blame. Her voice didn't shake. She wasn't yelling. She didn't need to. I'm not here to fight, she said. I just wanted you to know, I see you now, for who you are, and I see myself too. I'm not what you said I was. I never was. She stood up, picked up her phone, put it back in her bag. They watched her like strangers. No one moved. Jade walked to the door. She didn't slam it. She didn't cry. She just stepped outside, closed it gently behind her, and walked away. Jade drove back to the coastal town with the windows down, letting the wind hit her face. The air smelled like salt and pine. It felt good to be away from the weight of her parents' house. She didn't cry. She didn't overthink. She just drove. When she walked into Uncle Lewis's house, he looked up from his chair. You all right? He asked. She nodded. Yeah, I did what I needed to do. They didn't talk much that night, but Jade slept better than she had in a long time. 2 weeks later, an email popped up on her phone. Her heart skipped as she opened it. Congratulations, it read. You've been accepted into the Bright Coast Writing Fellowship. She stared at the screen for a long moment, then laughed, small and full of disbelief. Louis found her on the porch, grinning to herself. They picked me, she said. He blinked a few times, nodded, and then looked away, but Jade saw his eyes get wet. You did it, he said, on your own. She packed again, this time for something new. The fellowship house was just a few miles away, shared with 3 other writers. It was small, full of books, notebooks, coffee mugs, and late-night talks. Her room had a window facing the ocean. During the first group reading, Jade almost didn't stand. Her hands were shaking. But when it was her turn, she walked to the front and opened her notebook. She read a short piece about a girl raised in silence, in a house where love was used like a weapon, about how she forgot her own voice, until one day she found it again. When she finished, no one said a word for a few seconds. Then came quiet, steady applause. After that, Jade started smiling more. She answered texts from old friends. She joined the other fellows for walks. She learned how to say no without guilt. She was still soft, still careful with her heart, but she didn't shrink anymore. One afternoon, she received a letter in the mail. It was from her parents. There was no blame in the words, no guilt, just a short note. We heard you. We're sorry for the pain. We hope you're well. Jade read it once, then folded it and placed it in a drawer. She didn't reply. She didn't need to. The sky was soft and golden as the sun began to set. Jade sat on the beach with her knees pulled to her chest, watching the waves move in and out, slow and steady. The air was cool. A light wind touched her face and moved through her hair. She breathed in deeply. The ocean always made her feel calm, like it knew how to hold every feeling without needing to fix it. She pulled out her journal and opened it to the first page. There, written in her own hand, were the words, "You are not hard to love." She stared at the sentence for a moment, letting it settle in her heart. Then she picked up her pen and wrote beneath it, "You just needed someone to love you for real, and that someone is me." She stopped writing, closed the journal gently. The wind picked up again, brushing across her skin like a soft touch. She looked out at the water one last time, then stood up. She didn't need anything else in that moment. She was enough. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you felt something from this story, don't forget to like, share, comment your thoughts, and